Good afternoon, I'm Raine Musñgi. This is Newsfeed. The Philippine Stock Exchange Index finally breaks past the 7,000 barrier as the prospect of more rate cuts fuel risk-on sentiment after multiple failed attempts over the past week. The PSEi index closed above the key resistance level to finish at 7,024, surging by about 80 points or 1.15%. This marks the first time the benchmark index closed above the 7,000 threshold in over 19 months. All sectors were in the green, with property, holding firms, and services rising by more than 1%. Despite the strong gains, value turnover slumped to 5.4 billion pesos, while decliners topped advancers 107 to 90. In the United States, headline inflation eases, narrowing hopes for a huge rate cut by the Federal Reserve. The Consumer Price Index, or CPI, rose by 0.2% on a monthly basis in August. That puts the 12-month inflation rate at 2.5%, down from 2.9% in July. But the core CPI, which excludes volatile food and energy prices, rose by 0.3%, slightly higher than the estimate of 0.2%. The latest inflation data bolsters expectations of a 25 basis point cut by the Fed instead of 50. Policymakers are due to meet next Tuesday and Wednesday to set interest rates. Economic cooperation between ASEAN and China bearing fruit over the past decade or so. That's according to officials at the Chinese Ministry of Commerce, who cite the annual average trade growth of 7.5% since 2013. They add that by July, investments between Beijing and ASEAN members would have topped $400 billion. Beijing will host the 21st China-ASEAN Expo, a business and investment summit, from September 24 to 28. A stern warning from a senior Chinese military official. Army Lieutenant General He Lei says China will crush foreign intruders in the disputed South China Sea. His statement comes following recent confrontations between Chinese and Philippine Coast Guard vessels in Escoda Shoal, a new flashpoint in the maritime row between Manila and Beijing. Aside from the Philippines, China also blames Manila's ally, the United States, for stoking tensions in the region. An arbitral tribunal invalidated China's sweeping claims in the South China Sea in 2016. But Beijing has repeatedly rejected that landmark ruling. Evacuations are underway due to the restive Canlaon volcano. Several barangays have been affected by the volcanic activity. Local authorities have ordered residents to leave the 4-kilometer permanent danger zone.
Inuna po namin yung vulnerable like senior citizens, PWD at saka yun pong children at ang pregnant po. Then, well-trained naman po ang mga tao po dito when it comes to calamity po like volcanic eruption.
Aviation authorities have also issued a notice to airmen to avoid flying close to the volcano. Pope Francis urges Singaporean leaders to seek fair wages for the city-state's migrant workers. The Pope is on the last leg of his 12-day Asia-Pacific tour to promote interfaith harmony, which included stops in Papua New Guinea, Timor-Leste, and Indonesia. He addressed about 1,000 politicians and civil and religious leaders at Singapore's National University. Singapore has about 1.1 million foreigners working with temporary permits. Pop megastar Taylor Swift rallies her fans to register to vote in November's presidential election as she takes the stage at the MTV's Video Music Awards at the UBS Arena in New York. Swift's black and white video Fortnite, featuring Post Malone, won Video of the Year, the top honor at the annual awards.
And if you are over 8, thank you to MTV for giving me this opportunity to thank the fans, to thank you for what you've done. And the fact that this is a fan-voted award and you voted for this, I appreciate it so much. And if you are over 18, please register to vote for something else that's very important coming up, the 2024 presidential election. I love you all so, so much. Thank you for this moment.
Soon after, Vice President Kamala Harris finished debating her Republican rival Donald Trump Tuesday night, Swift told her 283 million Instagram followers that Harris and running mate Tim Walz would get her vote. Her post drew more than 9 million likes from fans and celebrities alike. And surf culture is coming to Abu Dhabi. Next month, the world's largest artificial wave pool will open at the United Arab Emirates. The 650-meter-long pool will also be filled with seawater, giving the perfect illusion of being on the beach.
The only difference here is that it's a perfect wave every time, whereas in the ocean, a lot of variables. It is all about establishing a surf culture because it's never existed here before. And that to me is the coolest thing. We've already made surfers out of people who had never dreamt of being a surfer before.
And before we go, here's a look at today's market winners and losers. Those are the news this hour. I'm Raine Musñgi. Stay tuned to BNC on Free TV Channel 31, Channel 24 on Signal, and on our website bnc.ph. Thank you so much for watching.